Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I just want to be talking about the recently revealed Ninjago January sets with technically a couple of March sets in there as well that they've also revealed that I figure I'll just talk about now. So, starting off, pretty much smallest to biggest or cheapest to most expensive. We got Lloyd versus Earth Monster Spinner. Comes with 2 figures. On Earth Monster and Lloyd has 52 pieces and is $10. It is the exact same spinner design as this year, I believe, is when these kind of spinners came out. So nothing changes there, just different figures, obviously. So I'm fine with that. With those spinners, I just shove them in a container, but I like getting the figures from them. So these 2 spinners that they've got will be another good way to get a couple cool figs. The Earth Monster looks pretty neat, and I do like the new dragon theme suits for the regular sets we've got. The other spinner is Nia versus Mutation Monster. Also 2 figures. They Mutation Monster and Nia. 49 pieces, same $10. The Mutation Monster is a little funky to me. It's kind of fun, I guess, but it's not my favorite ever design for a villain character for Ninjago. I think they've had better looks in the past. I've really liked the Dragonian Warriors for this past year. I think those have looked really good. So in that way, I think it's a slight downgrade, but not the worst figure. I still think they're kind of neat. Then there is Kai's Dragon Mech Battle Pack, which it is kind of strange. It's called a battle pack because it has 3 figures, Kai, Sora, and an Earth Monster. Has 85 pieces, also $10. And, it's a nice little set. I think it comes with some nice figures, and for $10, you're not spending a whole lot of money on it, but just the battle pack label is what I just find weird. The corner there's the J mech from his mech battle pack, but that one at least came with 2 regular villain characters. It still came with, if I remember correctly, Jay obviously and Lloyd, so it was still kind of weird as a battle pack, but I guess with Ninjago it's a bit different. It's not like a Star Wars pack maybe necessarily where it comes with just unnamed troopers that you build up a lot of. It's just, I don't know, it is just kind of weird, if you collect both Star Wars and Ninjago, it being called a battle pack is kind of weird. It could just be Kai's Dragon Mech, $10, but whatever. Then there's Jay's Dragon Mech Fight, 2 figures, Jay and a Mutation Monster, 107 pieces. It is $20. Comes out on March 1st, and it's a 4+ set. So I don't really get why they revealed a 4+ set this early, but it's out. It's a 4+ set. The mechs aren't that good because of that, but for 4+ pricing, not that bad. And I guess if you want to get those figures and you don't want to buy other sets for them, then, go for it. And of course, for people who actually have 4-year-olds or whatever, it's a nice little gift for them. Next is Cole's Mission Mech and Dragon Zane. 3 figures, Cole, Zane, and an Acid Monster. 364 pieces, $35. So that's kind of the whole thing with this wave of the regular sets, is there's some dragon forms of certain ninja in each wave of the larger sets, and they look pretty neat. They come with little tails that I assume will be the leg attachments, like belts and stuff go over the legs. So I'm assuming it'll slot over there, or it's a really long shoulder piece that extends down. Either one. I don't think there's any good clear views of the back of the figure to see which it is, but those are interesting figures. I do like how they look, more or less. They've got kind of funky dragon masks that I'm a bit of a toss-up over whether I'm fully fond of them. Definitely, when I pick up a couple of these sets, I'll see how I feel about them in person, because that's always different from seeing them in box art. And also, I guess talking about the mech, we're over with as well with this line of mechs that started with the Kai, Cole, ones that like can all combine up. So nice to see some variety there. Mix them up. You know, obviously it's still another Ninjago mech, but it's a little bit different at least. Next is Ninja Dragon Ryu's Battle. 4 figures, Aaron, Nia, Mutation Monster, and a Loyalist. 347 pieces, $45. So not wonderfully priced at all. That's kind of a thing you'll notice with like a couple of these sets at the mid-tier price range of like 50 to 100. Like for whatever reason, these past couple years, I feel especially that price range of Ninjago sets have had a couple of sets where they're just kind of poorly priced, just to phrase it. They're still like pretty good sets, and you know, whenever I pick them up, I'm not like too disappointed. I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty good set. I feel like I didn't waste my money, but it's always like, this could be $10 cheaper. This could be $15 cheaper. So that is another example here. You know, Ryu, you know, now is a bigger dragon, has a couple of molded pieces, but I've never really liked the idea that somehow justifies such a large increase in price, especially because other sets are poorly priced like that without molded pieces, so clearly not the case. But it does look like a nice set, just one of the ones that you probably wait for a sale on to get, you know, more value for your money, for sure. Next up is Jay's Transforming Car. 5 figures in this one. Jay, Nia, Kai, Earth Monster, and a Loyalist Leader. And there is a Dragon Form Ninja in this set. It has 387 pieces, $55. So another rough pricing thing there. 40 more pieces than the Dragon, and a $10 higher price for some reason. The car looks nice. The transforming thing seems really simple though. It seems like the front half of the car can just be flipped. So there's like a golden side and then just like a blue side. Like that's it. Like it's a neat little function that I'm sure absolutely would be fun to play with as a kid. I definitely remember having like a couple of like toy cars that did exactly that. Like that's a fun thing to play with as a kid, but it's just kind of poorly priced and I wish it wasn't, because again, there's like the big molded wheels. That's about it. There's the same issue with Aaron's buggy. Same big molded wheels. The Ninja Combat vehicle that came out this year. Big molded wheels. So, I don't know. Something about the buggies or whatever with the big wheels are really all not that well priced. It's a bit unfortunate to see, but it's a cool set that on a sale I think would be wonderful to get. Next up is the Ninja Vehicle Treehouse Battle. 6 figures in this one. Kai, Zane, Jay, Euphrasia, an Acid Monster, and a Loyalist. 642 pieces, $80. So, again, I'm just repeating myself, but, you know, like I said, that mid-range of pricing for playsets is kind of really badly priced these last couple years for a lot of sets. And in this case, I think every single one has been not well priced, but the vehicles in this set, I think, look pretty nice. However, the little treehouse thing is not my favorite ever, like, location build. You know, I'm all cool with, like, there being, like, the facades or whatever, and it's not, like, a full fleshed out building or anything, but that could have been left out, and I would have much preferred to just get like the 2 vehicles for like $50, maybe $40. And you know, I know Ninjago does a lot of vehicles and it is nice to get location stuff, but like I'd rather either pretty much a dedicated vehicle set or a dedicated location set, especially if pricing is gonna be that poor on it. Like I'd rather one or the other get even more fleshed out, pretty much. I like the figures in the set, you know. Euphrasia's cool, you know, the ninja are cool. The Acid Monster is really cool, you know, it's a snake, but I really like, you know, all the green and stuff on it. I just don't fully like the set. So, I'm gonna repeat myself here, but it's another one where I would wait for a sale, and then I think it's pretty worth your money. Lastly, for the, like, regular wave of sets, is the Dragon of Life. Has 8 figures. Zane, Lloyd, Sora, Aaron, Cole, an Acid Monster, an Earth Monster, and a Loyalist Leader with 1,050 pieces and $110. So, it's kind of my point. I think the small sets, well priced, pretty much. And the really large sets, you know, 100 and more, also generally pretty well priced. It's just, they really can't figure out the $50 to $100 range, pretty much, for, like, actually pricing something appropriately. which is kind of frustrating. But this set does look pretty good. It's a pretty unique looking dragon, I'd say, just in terms of color scheme and all that. And I guess like maybe weird phrasing, but like the theming of it, you know, the dragon of life. I guess we did kind of get the source dragon or whatever. That was big set green dragon, but I don't know. It looks pretty neat though. That's definitely one, you know, provided I could find some room somewhere in my collection, that I'll definitely pick up. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'd rather spend it on that than get two of the more poorly priced play sets, pretty much. So at some point, I'll definitely pick that up. You know, I'll probably, you know, wait a couple months on it. It's not going to be an immediate pickup, but I think that is one of the better sets. And now, moving on, we've got some 15 anniversary sets that I think all look pretty fantastic. So starting off, smallest to largest, the Ninja character display has 8 figures: Kai, Zane, Cole, Jay, Lloyd, Wu, Samurai X, and a collectible Master of Lightning. That's based on the flashbacks of season 4, and I believe she also appeared in season 7 along with a couple of the other elemental masters. So that is the collectible thing, I think, just based off the first 3 sets revealed. Is they've got a little thing on the back that says collect all 7. So obviously that reveals there's going to be, should be 7 15th anniversary sets throughout this year, I guess. So, you know, if they all hold to the quality of these first 3 revealed, I'm really excited for that, because pretty much every revealed one is like an instant pickup for me, at least personally. It is 447 pieces and $45. So I think that's pretty right on the money, you know. All the ninja are in their ZX suits from season 1. Yeah. And I have seen some people not happy. They did go all gold for the crests on the mask and the shoulder armor. And personally, I don't think I'm really like, I think it looks good, mostly. The one guy I don't think the gold looks good on is Jay. I'll admit that. I think if you're gonna go all gold, which I don't mind for an anniversary recreation of ZX, because, you know, if you want the OG ZX stuff, you can go out and just get the suit. It'll set you back a little bit of money, but overall, they're not like prohibitively expensive if you want the OG stuff. Moreover, if you really just want the silver, and I know, you know, if you don't like the choice, you don't like the choice, but you can always just go find some silver shoulder pauldrons and swap them out, you know. And I guess you just have to get, you know, buy an old, like if you want the new figure, you just got to swap out, I guess, a mask and some shoulder pauldrons. But I don't know, it's a 15th anniversary figure. It's pretty much overall a pretty faithful recreation of the ZX suits, which I'm happy about, because the OG Legacy line, you know, celebrating 10 years of Ninjago, that did, you know, like a mishmash kind of suits instead of like recreating suits one-to-one. And now I wasn't as active on the internet, so I don't know if people bitched about that then. And personally, I wasn't too happy about that. I was like, man, I wish we could have gotten some more accurate recreations, but like, you know, 10 years of Ninjago Legacy, that did, you know, no, like, accurate recreation of a suit. So, honestly, to actually see the ZX suits pretty much fully recreated, I'm pretty happy. I think Lloyd looks good in the gold, and I think Cole looks good in the gold. It's really just Jay who looks a little wonky, because he does still have the silver arm and like silver chest armor that I think does admittedly kind of clash a bit. But of course, you know, it's your right if you think you would have really loved to see him fully recreated with the silver for Lloyd, Jay, and Cole. I get it, you know. Nothing wrong with feeling like that either. But personally, I don't think it's that big a deal, and I think other than Jay, they all look good. And I am very happy that, you know, they didn't try and like split the ZX shit like across a bunch of sets. So if you want them all, you gotta buy a ton of stuff. I don't necessarily mind that as, you know, I guess a business model, whatever. I get it, you know, you want people to buy more sets, but it's also really cool, you know, you can spend less than $50 and you can get all the ZX suits and Wu and Samurai X. Like, that's pretty cool. On a nice little display piece for all those characters. And Wu looks good. He's pretty much a faithful recreation. And then they actually went with, it seems like a new Samurai X design, which I don't mind because I think it looks really dope. That was interesting, and I feel like I have not seen anyone complain about that, so it just feels a little weird on what they choose to complain about, but I suppose people do care more for the Ninja, I guess, than Samurai X. Either way, it is a cool little set. It's a day one pickup for me. Maybe not literally day one, but January, I'm getting that. Moving on, there is the 4 Weapons Blacksmith set. This one has 6 figures. Kai, Nia, Wu, Maya, Rei, and the Master of Earth has 1,259 pieces, and it's $100. The figures, again, all look good. Wu looks good. The Master of Earth looks good. Kai looks good in his blacksmith stuff. They all look good. It's another day one purchase. I will say, I am curious, because I did see a lot of complaints, and I don't think they're fully justified personally. I think it looks like a dope set. But it definitely looks like a little small. Like, it's one of those sets where it's like, yeah, it's got the piece count to where price per piece wise, it's great. It's fantastic even. However, it's clearly a more dense model that's going to be using, 1, a fair amount of pieces in the base, admittedly, and 2, a lot of small detailing pieces. So, it's a really big difference. I mean, I got the Wolf Mask Shadow Dojo recently. That's 120, and it uses a lot of big pieces, and it really, it spreads out. So it's a large set that really is like, wow, that feels like $120. Whereas this one's going to be a more compact model. I think, if I'm remembering the measurements for it, it's 9 inches wide, which right there, the acclimator is the same measurement. So it's not going to be huge. So I'll definitely see. I'm picking it up. I think it looks fucking great. I'm excited to have that. It looks phenomenal, but I'll definitely see, like, it should be at least a fairly hefty model if it's not going to be a huge model, pretty much. See if, I feel people's complaints are justified. And lastly, the best set revealed, in my humble opinion, Lloyd's Titan Mech. 3 figures, Lloyd, Grimfax, and Master of Ice. Has 1,293 pieces. Is $130, and I mean, it just looks phenomenal. It does come with just Lloyd ZX, which again, I saw people complain about, but I'm like, yeah, who cares? I also saw people asking, why they're doing a remake, but just to put into perspective, it has been 7 years since that set has been made, which, with OG Legacy, they were also remaking sets that were 7 years old. So it fits with what Legacy was doing 5 years ago. So it's an old set at this point. The OG, Lloyd's mech that it's recreating. And I mean, this one is just like an upgrade. Like, the OG set does not look bad. Do not get me wrong. And I don't own it, so I don't have a full opinion on it. But this one looks fantastic. But unfortunately, the only bad thing is it comes out in March. So I gotta wait to get it, but it is 12.5 inches tall, and the Kohl's Titan Mech is 15, according to Lego. And now, my one thing is, I don't know if Lego's counting the blades that the Kohl's Titan Mech has that make it, a good, 6 inches taller, if they counted them. Or if they just count, from, head to foot, and same with the Lloyd's one. Either way, it's going to be a big, hefty mech that looks absolutely fantastic. So I can't wait to get it. I love Kohl's Titan Mech. That is one of my favorite sets ever still. I'm gonna love this one. I mean, I love Ninjago mechs in general. You can see by the shelf in front of you. So I'm very much excited to get the Lloyd's Titan Mech. This is another fantastic set. I don't think, it'll go #1 favorite set ever. For now, that's Optimus Prime, but it probably clears top 5. But that is all I have for today. A bit of a long video, but I got a lot of thoughts about Ninjago. I think it looks like a fairly solid wave. Like I said, some pricing issues with that mid-tier pricing. 3 sets aren't that great. Definitely need some sales to be justified, but overall not bad. I think they overall knocked it out of the park, and I am very excited to see the rest of those legacy sets, because I think those are all probably going to be fucking fantastic, more than likely, based off the sample size we've gotten of these ones. But I'll see you in the next one. I will definitely have reviews of these sets in the future. Certainly all the 15th anniversary ones, and definitely a couple of the smaller ones right off the bat. So see you in the next video. Peace.